Nairobi, December 12th, 1963. With cries of Uhuru, East Africa celebrates its independence. Uhuru is a new word. It means freedom. Politics is new to Africa, too. A new problem for a new era. The symbol of the most progressive party, the rooster, is plucked by the nationalists. Now the Africans stage their party, a well-organized, spontaneous demonstration, well run by the police, against African countries still controlled by whites. Portuguese colonialist eggs go first, and South African beer. These lessons are taught by government teachers. The white brain is smaller than the black brain. The white man knows this and is afraid. In America, blacks invented the biggest of all bonds, but they are still kept in big glass prisons, like slaves. Hannibal was the white man's master. He gave him the signs used for writing. Hannibal also gave him the wheel, which Hannibal had invented. But when he brought it to the white king, the king killed him and ate him. Because they want to become black, whites lie in the sun by the sea. The white woman is descended from the monkey, and her hair is as straight as a monkey's. The white woman has flabby breasts, so she hides them in white bags. Africa picks up the whites' police clubs, too, and begins training a new force. In Kenya, it's urgently needed. The young nation's first independent elections have been scheduled, and excitement has reached a fever pitch. During this campaign, irresponsible politicians promised to hand over all the whites' property, houses, cars, lands, and livestock, unprepared for modern democracy but eager to claim their shares. As if they could buy them with their votes, Africans scrambled to the polls. One modernized army of poachers used hand grenades to massacre 300 baby elephants, all slaughtered only for the tiny tufts of hair at the tips of their tails. In less than a year, the police here collected 82 tons of poached ivory. If you consider that this is only 1/5 of the annual poacher's bag, you begin to understand the magnitude of the slaughters. In one valley of the Semliki, police found drying in the sun 2,800 skins of poached zebras, leopards, gazelles, cheetahs, and lions. Once this was the richest reserve in the world. Now the game grows rarer and rarer. Huge sections of the continent transformed by the British into the world's most perfect natural sanctuaries. Here, the British game laws classified man as the most destructive of animals. Here, except for man, all the animals were sacred. Man could tiptoe along the boundaries, but he could not put 1 foot inside. Even then, dedicated wardens watched his every move and demanded absolute silence. It has been decided that there is no longer any place in the new economy for these immense, unproductive territories. Now, the new African governments put the parks to use. The game wardens, both black and white, have no choice but to comply with governmental orders and to organize the details of Operation Cropping, also known as the animal harvests. Here in Uganda, as of today, on every Friday, Operation Cropping will stock the local butcher shops with fresh meat. Now, in those sanctuaries where once it was sacrilegious even to whisper, rifles shatter the ancient silence. 160. That's the total of today's harvest on the Hippopotamus Ranch. Local butchers buy them all for about $40 apiece. The number to be harvested is determined by 2 factors. Africa, which is starving for protein, must be fed. But Africa wants it both ways. Meat on its tables and the myth of the animal paradise for the tourists. Wounded animals limping away from the harvest are destroyed immediately. Above all, the tourist mustn't know. But since even most tourists don't get to Africa, we'd like to offer our own snapshot of the famous animal sanctuaries. This is edition 1964, Slaughter Paradise number 1, the richest meat market in the world. Here's another souvenir snapshot. This one's a must for the latest, most up-to-date brochure for a trip through the animal paradise. But in Africa, life explodes as powerfully as death. Here in South Africa, for every white baby, 5 blacks are born.
In villages like Gubade, there's no email or phones to tell the world there's no food here.